Hello everyone and welcome back guys, finally to a brand new episode of my GTSport Road to Rank S, where today we're here in a new week. Last week's car combo, actually, by the time this video is going out, around Austria, the Austrian Grand Prix circuit, the Red Bull Ring, in the GT2 cars, effectively the Super GT cars. Now, between the last episode and this one, nothing really too much has changed. Unfortunately, my safety rating has dropped down to A. I'm not too sure why on the whole. I think I did one race. I don't think I got any incidents in that. But apart from that, you know, nothing else has really changed. And obviously, hopefully, we should be able to get that back up to S nice and soon. But yeah, starting down in P8, ready for this race. There's 3 cars in these races. You've got the Rayberg NSX, the Motul Ortec GTR, and then the AU Toms RCF as well. Obviously, 3 well-known Super GT cars, obviously. For those of you that have ever watched sort of Super GT, obviously not the YouTuber, the racing series, I'm actually quite a big fan of these cars on the whole. They are sort of like in a weirdly quick sort of group, if you will, which I'm quite a fan of. I like the way they drive on the whole. The traction on them sometimes can be a little bit strange, but apart from that, you know, looking forward to this race, starting up in P7 for this one. Obviously, I only had about 3 laps worth of practice going into this. I sort of just hopped on one night and thought, I want to get back into this series, so yeah, that's why, hopefully, you know, even though we're starting in the middle of the pack, we should be alright. Actually, a standing start for this one, but here we are then on the grid. We're going to get ready. It's 5 red lights, and it's lights out and away we go, and actually not off to a particularly good start. It doesn't seem like particularly anyone has got off to a good start. Everyone a little bit uncertain what to do with those standing starts. See, they're almost 5 wide going into turn 1 already there. I get a punt in the rear end there, and well, I get another punt in the rear, and well, just get span round, unfortunately. I will say now as well, I realise now I'd accidentally left my traction control off as well, which is very unfortunate. So now we're going to have to try and, well, carve our way back through the order in this race. I'm also trying to make these videos a little bit shorter as well, so let me know if you sort of prefer these sort of around 10-minute video styles over the old ones. You can see moving on though to lap 2, we've already got, well, moving up the order ever so slightly there. Go past one of another Lexus, I think that is, and then past another one there. The Lexus, quite a common car for this racing. But, you know, I don't think there's any sort of particularly OP one. I think the NSX is slightly underpowered on the whole, but I don't think, you know, apart from that, there's too much that is particularly strange about these cars. But now up into P16 once more. They're obviously started P7, so I'd like to, you know, get somewhere around there once more. On to lap 3 though. Well, I'm not too sure what's wrong with this guy, whether he's drunk or what, but just look at the way he's driving. Absolutely all over the shop. That actually gives me a little bit of a punt to the outside as we come in towards the final double right-hander here. He's going to keep it down the inside, just one of those people where you can tell that's what he was going to do. Completely runs me out of road there, not too sure what that is all about. Seems very laggy and very dangerous on the road on the whole. Unfortunately, that means my safety rating is unfortunately going to drop ever so slightly as well, but obviously we should be able to, you know, overcome that over the entirety of this race. Braking now down in towards Tom, and just look how early he brakes as well. He clearly hasn't done any practice for this either. You know, I can't imagine he's done all too many laps in these cars as well. So potentially that Nissan isn't so underpowered as I originally thought. Potentially it's just he is the benchmark at the moment, and I don't think he's a particularly good one. We're going to send it down the inside into the head there. I think he ghosted out of the way anyway, trying to get rid of his penalty, but that'll now move us up into P15 of this race. So slowly but surely moving our way back up through the order. You can see there's quite a few cars just a few seconds up the road. Onto the end of lap 6, we were all over the back of another Brit in this race. Another Brit, another Lexus. We're going to try and look around the outside that we just about keep the nose in. Potentially should have backed out of that, but still, you know, we do keep the nose on the inside there. Side by side down in towards the final couple of corners. We're actually going to be diving into the pits. He completely, well, just comes across me there. The driving in this race has been, well, mediocre at very best here, unfortunately. He's become now down into the pit lane. Actually quite a weird race in terms of fuel strategy. It's not as simple as just running it in rich revs as such all the way through. You do really have to sort of like, well, not lift and coast, but just, you know, manage the fuel quite nicely as well over the course of these races. But we will, yeah, we'll obviously max out the tank once more here as well. But we will be back out, and I think around sort of P16, P17 at this stage of the day. Exiting the pit lane now. Where are we going to be? It's going to be P18, all the way down in second to last. Obviously, a lot of guys will have gone 1 lap longer, so we should be able to move up quite a way back through the order in this race as well. But yeah, unfortunately, not in a particularly good place at the moment. Actually, back up now already into P16 here, so we are we're slowly but surely making our way back up through the order, and I think on my return, you know, so far it's been somewhat respectable. On to the lap 11 though, so he's skipping on quite a way through. Unfortunately, it was just very, very quiet up to this point, all the way up now to P12 of this race. But this is where, you know, I turn into a bit of a Forza noob on the whole. Unfortunately, just completely lock up the brakes, run into the back of that poor GTR driver. I did apologise to him after the race, and I was completely fine with it on the whole there. But yeah, still a very, very poor mistake from myself. As I said, unfortunately, just got the car locked on the curb, and obviously just with the ABS, it can't brake when obviously the front wheels are lifting off the aero, so slightly, you know, where you're bouncing over the curbs. But that would take us all the way on then to the final lap of this race, all the way down in P13 at this stage, and I certainly would not be too happy with finishing into this position. We do definitely want to try and move a little bit up the order, hopefully before the end. You know, we've got a good couple of cars squabbling just ahead of me. We've actually got the Brit once again and a Polish driver as well here as we come out to the top of the hill. Obviously, this is where I sat for the Formula 1 Grand Prix last year as well. But yeah, now as you can see, the battle between these two is really, really starting to heat up here as we come through through Sector 2 here, braking now down. I love this corner to try and brake into when you do get it right. Obviously, the curb on the outside on the exit is really nice as well when you do carry on the momentum there. But I think it was a guy that was ranked SA who won that race. Obviously, not really too surprising about that. But there's actually contact. There's another car off in the gravel trap there. That's going to move us up into P12 here. So that's one place made up on this final lap of this race. This, well, Braybrig NSX is not having a good time of it as well as we come through in towards the final couple of corners. There loses the back end, goes into the gravel trap there, unfortunately spears back onto the circuit and runs into the side of me. But that's two places made up so far through this final lap. Clearly everyone struggling with their rear tyres as we come through the final corner here, all over the back of the Nissan here. Are we going to be able to get a good run out of the final corner? We're going to dive it through the slipstream, pull to the outside there. He runs out of fuel, and we get him at the line by 14 thousandths of a second there. What an end to that race that was. That's clearly why a lot of these guys were struggling there. Unfortunately, ran out of fuel just to the line there, and I sort of felt a little bit bad for him, obviously, after we gave him a bit of a punt a couple of laps earlier. And we take him right at the line now. What an incredible way to end of the return to GTSport. 3 places made up in the final lap there. Hopefully, you know, you guys have enjoyed this video. In terms of driver rating, I think we're sort of like in the lower third of B at the moment. We're slowly but surely moving our way up. I'm aiming to try and get these out twice a week now, Mondays and either Thursdays or Fridays even, depending on sort of like everything else. Obviously, the F1 channel does take priority. Obviously, we are very, very close to 10k subs over there. But hopefully, you know, you guys have enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're new around here. And hopefully, I will see you guys next time for the next Road to Rank S.